Hello, Teaquilters. It's T with Teaquilts, and today is August 9th, 2025. It is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're here for 2 hours live sewing chat. I'm also live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for 1 hour live chat. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you'll receive notifications so you'll get those when I am live. And also join us over on Facebook, Teaquilts LLC. Make sure that you answer the 4 questions. Otherwise, your request will be denied because I'm trying not to let spammers into the group. So make sure that you answer those 4 questions. So I'm just giving people a chance to get their notifications so that they can come into the chat. So just give me a minute. I don't know if I'm gonna sew tonight, but if I do, it'll be with a different thread. So I need to take this out temporarily. Talking about I don't know if I'm gonna sew tonight. That's the whole purpose of tonight, is to sew. Do I feel like sewing? No. This thing needs some oil, and I don't have any in here. Well, the bobbin does. It's in my brother bag. I'll just leave that up there. See if I got any oil in here. Yes, I do, surprisingly. It's like, ugh. This oil has never been opened. I don't think. Because I normally use the brother oil. Has a cap in it. Okay, I won't oil the bobbin right now. We'll come back to that. because I need to clean out down there. I got strings all over me, but I do understand why, but I have them. Don't all quilters have strings? All right, let's see who's in the chat before we get started. Let's see. Darcy Savali is also reminding you all to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you, Darcy. Thank you so much. Maddie Barnum's here. Sue GSD is saying good evening, T and fellow quilter people. 339 days until the most epic week of all, Retreat 2026. With a group of warm, talented, and hilarious people. Join the fun and get your deposits in. Yes, yes, yes. I did receive 2 payment envelopes today, Sharon and Viola. So thank you so much for that. Dee Branson is here. Said her rent has been paid. That means that she has hit the thumbs up button. Have you? If not, go hit the thumbs up button now while we're doing check-ins so that you can be counted in the number. C-Rax is here. Vivian Calvey, Sharon Lewis, Betsy Layton, Diane McCoy, Holly Duvall, Wanda Jamerson. Welcome to the channel, to the chat part of the channel. Patricia Priest, Kevin the Quilter. He's saying, hey, Miss T and T Quilters and all T Quilters. Pearl Medina's here. Paula S. Tina Yee Edwards. Claudette Hall. Janice Miller. Teresa Forrester. Minnie Dula. Did you get your package yet, Minnie? Sharon Lewis. Dorothy Battle. Let's see, who else? Miss Topaz, welcome back. Michelle the Quilter, still haven't gotten your card. I don't know what happened to that. I don't think, or did I? I can't remember now. It's been so much going on. Sue talking about, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the assistant has arrived. Woohoo! Clovis Gardner. Do I have an answer? An answer to what? I don't know. Deborah, that's from Dorothy Battle. Deborah Sims Brown is here. Deborah Holloway. Laughing at Kevin's response to Sue. Janet McCarroll's here. Don Cunningham. Let's see. Hey Celeste, welcome to the chat. We missed you at Scrap Club, girl. Anita Scott last week. We didn't have it this week. Anita Scott's here. Sue talking about she got released to go back to work. Sad news. Hey Suzette Peterkin Denton, welcome to the chat. Judy Smith, Phyllis G. says holla. While she's in paradise, like literally. Cynthia Shades here. Joyce Sterling. Clovis Gardner is also reminding people to hit the thumbs up button. Miss T misses me so badly, she calling me at her meetings, T folks. He's so silly. Kayla's here. Hey, Kayla. She's saying hello to everyone. Pamela Abel is here. Welcome back. It's been a little while. Yes, I am backwards. I'm using my original iPad so that I can use the mic because I've been using the other iPad so that, because for some reason YouTube hasn't flipped that iPad, but it has flipped every other thing that I have. And I listened to the volume. I had my volume up to like 53 on my television just to hear the volume. So I went back to this mic. Yes, everything is going to be backwards. Just keep that in mind for tonight. You all let me know if you want me to use the old iPad or the new iPad because of volume, because I feel like the volume is much lower on the television screen. And I don't necessarily mind that you have to cut it up. It's just that YouTube has inserts of ads. And so when they insert the ads, then the ads are going to be really, really loud. And I just thought that was just inappropriate. So you've got to deal with either loud commercial ads, so you all let me know, or having everything backwards on screen. I don't know how long they're going to keep it this way, so just keep that in mind. Hey, Frances Jackson. She says she got her fabric. Okay, thank you, Minnie. She says she sent something to me, so I'll get it on Monday. Okay, Monday is my sister's birthday. So we'll be talking about that just a little bit. Nothing quilt well, it is quilt related. That's why we're going to talk about it a little bit later, okay? Bonita Nance is here. I can't remember if I read her name, just making sure. Pamela says she just been lurking. Okay, that's cool. Holly says volume is great for me anyway. I don't have any problems with the volume. I'm talking about like last Wednesday's volume or like the last Saturday, because I didn't use a mic at all. So you all let me know. I got 2 people saying that it's okay. When you're looking at the replay back on YouTube, on television, it's like the volume is a hot mess. Helena Carter is here. Bonita talking about, I'm good with you being backwards. I'm left-handed. So that's pretty funny. All right, so y'all, I have been busy this time since Wednesday. Normally I come in here and I say I haven't done a thing. Well, I haven't done a thing in this room. I have been in this room Wednesday. So Wednesday night and Thursday, I spent all that time trying to find, and Friday, because I just found it. I found it like early morning on Friday. I've been looking for my retreat projects because I did 2 of the lion panels, and I don't have the other one right here in mine. But my sister and I are both Leos, and her birthday is Monday. And I've been like frantically searching, trying to find those quilt tops, and I couldn't figure out where they were. Well, they had fallen completely out of a bag. I had put them back here because I had all of my retreat stuff, projects and stuff up here. And apparently, unbeknownst to me, it fell out of the bag, and right behind me is the door to go out of here over there. But, you know, behind me, but that way. And I put my stuff like right behind here. On the side of my desk, and apparently it fell out of the bag on the floor, and then when I went out the door, I pushed it further into the corner. So the whole time the bag was there, but I have searched everywhere in my house, everything that I took to retreat, and you guys that have been at retreat know how much junk and boxes and containers and bags I had at retreat. Yeah, I searched everything twice. And then the third go round, I'm going back through again. And I said, it has got to be in this room somewhere. So I thought it had fallen like behind my cutting thing, my cutting desk here that I haven't cut on in an eon of years. Because it's just holding works in progress. And so yeah, it was not. It was behind my room door. Okay. The last place I'm thinking to look. But this time I was looking everywhere. So that's how come I saw it this time. The project itself, it's called Red River. I do still have some patterns available, and it's not one of Villa Rosa's best written patterns, like you could use more details. So I ended up making a sheet that had additional details included that if you purchase from my website, I will include. But it's called Red River for those that need to know. It's backwards, you know, the picture, but you see what the quilt looks like. The inside is a panel from a 2/3 yard fabric, something that's at least 20 to 23 inches. No, 20, because you got to cut it 20 and a half. So you need, you know, 2/3 of a yard is like 23 inches, something like that. So keep that in mind. And then I also have like tips that I will include with that. I got my name on this one, and I'm not going to show you this because it's got all the instructions. But I ended up adding some tips just to help people, you know, be more successful at this pattern. So, you know, Villa Rosa patterns are $2, so you kind of get what you pay for. And trying to keep retreat costs down, that's what I had pick. And I thought it would be, you know, looking at the quilt pattern, it's a very easy quilt pattern, but there are some tricky things to it. And so you have to be really, really careful that way. So, yeah. Oh, Kevin's telling you all that we're going to be researching quilt shops for next year. Shop hop very soon. Yeah. You all don't realize, I mean, I think some of you all are finally getting it. How much is done for a retreat, and especially a lot of stuff behind the scene. But one of the things that we do, we don't just sit down in our house and plan our shop hop for a quilt retreat. If I'm going to pay that much money for a bus, first of all, I want to make sure we can do it in the allotted time frame if everybody shops appropriately. So we kind of tell you all, if we need to keep you all on schedule with things, we try to make sure everybody understands what's going on, especially if we're running behind. So we research this stuff. We actually go to the quilt shops ourselves. We go and we talk to shop owners ourselves to make sure that we're going to be well received. This year we had 2 shops that provided snack items. The first one had ordered in Starbucks coffee, and then they also had donuts from a local donut shop. And then the second place had like cooked goodies, and I think they had like water. They had a water fountain, so they had cups so that you could go to the water fountain to get water. But that center also had where you could purchase water or any type of drinks, which I thought was really nice. Feature to have in a quilt shop, because normally they don't want you to come in with any drinks, but they had like a break area, and then they had a big training area, and so they made sure that they put in for people to buy drinks if you should need it, which I thought was really nice, and gave you a place to eat lunch if you bring it. So, and then the third shop didn't have food for us because we were eating at the restaurant in town, but they had gift bags that they had given that had some items in it, and I've shown that on the retreat loot stuff after I came back home. But you know, all 3 of these shops now, this is the first time that all 3 shops has done something. So I have to say thank you to Illinois quilt shops for that, because I've been to a lot of Missouri quilt shops and they don't give us diddly squat at hardly any of these shops that we go to. For every one of the Illinois shops to give us something was just truly amazing. This at Jackman's was the only local shop. Well, no, because Jackman's gave door prizes, which you all didn't know, but one of the door prizes was a gift card, and I gave that gift card out right before, and then they also gave a book and something else dealing with color. And then another shop did have gift bags for everybody that they gave out after we shopped, so you didn't have to necessarily shop to get any of the items that we're giving out for free. And then Also Personal did too. They gave everybody a free fat quarter. You got to pick it. So that was cool too. So I'm blocking. So every shop this year gave us something. And that has not happened at previous retreats. So I kind of know the shops that really appreciate us shopping in their stores, and those are going to be some of the places that we go back to. Those that either donate to something to retreat, or they give something to everybody that's shopping. I think that's only fair if I'm bringing in a big group of people. And this was the first year that happened, so everybody this year. But we try to go and talk to owners, so we're not dealing with second in charge, you know, because there could be 2 or 3 people that are second in charge depending on what day somebody else is off work or something like that. So we always try to talk to the actual store owners. And we go to make sure that this, because say we haven't been to this place in 2 or 3 years, we go to make sure that it's someplace that first that can accommodate us, even if we have to shop in group in batches, but we got something else that we can do in the area, or that is suitable, because sometimes they may not be suitable anymore. We had a great time when we went to them, but maybe we're not going to have a great time the next time we go to them. So it's going to be interesting to see what we pick to go to this year. We just talked about it a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what portion of Missouri, or maybe going to a different state. Who knows? Trying to see what's best and what type of stores, because whereas I might like a store, is it feasible for a bus to get into it? That's going to be one of the concerns. So it's various things that go into that. It's not just to sit down on paper and fill this out and we're done. No, it takes a lot of work. And even if we go on the first excursion and we feel like it's not going to work, guess what? We got to go on a second excursion. So yeah, it's a lot that go into the retreats, guys. Shelly S is here. When will we find out what our charity project is? I want to go to the Humane Society and see if they still need quilts for the animals there. Remember we used to make the small ones? They were like 12 by 18 quilts. And then they also have like where you stuff the particular dog beds, because I still have a lot of stuffing from the year before. But I am going to have to go there, so I don't know yet. And then I did have one other suggestion for charity, and I forgot what it was now. It was a really good one, but right now I can't remember. But I'm trying to see what would be most beneficial at this time. So I'm still checking on that. So thank you, Darcy, for asking. Let's see. Trying to make sure I got everybody. Hi, Remo JS. Welcome, welcome. Sometimes I lose my space. It goes back to the top. Patrice, did you get an email response from me? I did respond to your question. Just trying to make sure my email did go through, because I don't know. It looks like it goes through to me, but it doesn't let me know. Hi, Delia Castro Short. Welcome, welcome. You had heart surgery Thursday and you're doing okay, Remo? Girl, thank goodness. God got his hands on you. Celeste says, do you have me down for Red River? I don't know, but I can bring it. Well, it's next scrap club's going to be a whole nother issue, but I got plenty of them, so you don't have to worry about that. So praying for you, girl. Yeah, Remo, my goodness. A lot of people sending their prayers, so thank you all. Dad is out of the hospital. And Thursday I had surgery. We're doing okay. His friends showed up today to entertain him, so that's nice. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome to the chat. Benita is asking, has all of the pillowcases been donated? I can't remember what number I got now, but it's very low. I actually gave out to a nursing center. Um, they do different activities with them, like they have bingo and things like that, and they said that one of those type things, they're just gonna have everybody like come and pick out a pillowcase. And so I made sure they had all that little label that was made. I made sure that that was on every pillowcase so that they would know where it came from. I think I gave out 60 or 70. I can't remember now because I packed them up 2 weeks ago and they just got picked up yesterday. So I know I have only one bag, and I pulled out the patriotic ones because I'm going to donate those to Quilts of Valor. But I don't know. I haven't counted to see how many pillowcases I have. And I also am waiting. I got another bag of 30 or maybe it's 62. It might be 60 of those that are all kid related because I got one person that deals with children is going to pick up. So I don't have that many. I think we had like 3 or 4 large containers of pillowcases, and I'm down to one, and it's not stuffed. So I've been working hard to get those pillowcases to people so that they can get them distributed to people that need them. And the funny thing is, I did it all. I didn't have to go to any organization. I did it all. I knew people that kind of work with people or might know people who work with people. And I did post in the Facebook group, but those people never responded because you have people, when I go into the public groups on Facebook, I feel like I just have people that want to get your stuff and they're not really with an organization. So I make them work for it. I tell them to send me a letter on letterhead. And if they can't send me something on a company letterhead, then I don't give it to them. But if I do word of mouth and I know who the people are, I know that they know that these people work for these different organizations. So I'm very loose because the last thing I want is for our charity projects to become a scam for somebody else or somebody else trying to then sell what we made. So I prefer to, and I want them to be in the neighborhoods per se, not just sitting on some organization's desk and then they're trying to figure out what to do with them. So yeah, I've been really doing a great job with those. So yeah. So Sue says she doesn't let her dogs have toys or blankets with fiber. These are mostly used for beds at the Humane Society. So I'll just see what they say, and if they don't, then we'll figure out something else. Okay, Patrice, you got the package. I'm glad. Yeah. So people still send us. I'm hoping Remo is reading all these comments in here. Kayla, you so wrong. I'm not even gonna read it. Talking to Remo. Remo better be reading these comments. Oh my goodness. What's the fabric bundle on the right side of light? Looks brown beige. I don't know. This here? No, she can't see that. Looks brown beige. I don't know. I don't have any. Oh, right. If she's talking about this, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know, Benita. Bonita's saying all kinds of stuff that I can't even see. She said buy the beads. I got a necklace here or a bracelet here that's beads. What else is beads? And if it's something back here, I can't see. Oh, she's talking about those. You can see over there. I can't see it on my screen. Let me look on my screen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to put my hand back here and see if it's where it's at. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what that is. I have some fat quarter bundles sitting over there. So that's what that is. It's just something that's been there. Or like I put it over there about 6 months ago or something. And maybe my camera is further down and you can see it now. But it's just something that I have sitting there. So yeah. Let's see, what have I done? I have found the quilt. Like I said, I found my Red River quilts, but mine's is called Leo Season. That's what my quilts are going to be called, Leo Season. And I have all of these half square triangles, so that are extra left over. So I went and quilted my sister's yesterday because I just found it early yesterday morning. So I quilted it yesterday. I put the binding on the front by machine, but it's not done. I thought I was going to come in here and do binding tonight. That's why I need this color thread. I normally press my binding out and then I turn the quilt to the back and then I press the binding flat so that it gives it memory when I want to just stitch in the ditch to hold it down. But maybe I won't be doing any of that today, and we're just going to fold it over and see if we can do that. And then I also got to leave a spot open so that I can put the label in there because I don't have the label made because I had so busy quilt guild meeting today. And I came home, I was tired and I took a nap because I have been working. I quilted another quilt this week, plus I did my sister's quilt, and then I had to piece the back because this is regular 48, so I did have to piece the back. Her favorite color is pink, so I wanted to make sure that I had her favorite color on it. And also, I have been working on my Happy Place quilt. So I've got all of these that I need to square up, and then I'm going to use these on the back of my quilt top. Now Jennifer used hers, and I've already got all of mine sewn, but Jennifer showed a beautiful thing that she did with her leftovers. I'm trying to, I don't know if I want to take the time to do all of that, or should I just go ahead and quilt my quilt, because I am working on a lot of customer quilts right now. I've been quilting a lot of customer quilts. I still have, let's see if I can count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still have quilts from 5 people. Plus, I need, in addition to that, I need to make another t-shirt quilt now for somebody else. It's a memory quilt. So today I sat down and cut all the shirts apart that I'm going to be using. And I had like 3 or 4 extra shirts, and I'll only cut them if I need them. So I'm working on various different things. And so let me show you the Red River quilt that I'm calling Leo Season. And you're not going to be able to see it here. But again, I use pink for her background because that's her colors. Her favorite color is pink. And, you know, the lion is roaring, so the tongue is showing, and it's got a little of it in there, but it's no pink that I pulled into the project. So I just want you to see a little bit of the lion, and I'm trying to get this done today, tomorrow. So if I don't get it sold while I'm live with you all, I'll stay up and get it done later. But yeah, because I want to get it to her tomorrow, because her birthday is Monday. She's going to go to work because I already know my sister. She's a workaholic. She's the one that does all the cooking and things for the retreat. And so, yeah, I wanted to get her this. I've been wanting to make this for her for a couple of years now, for her birthday, but also because she does a lot for a retreat. She doesn't get paid what she would normally get paid if she was cooking for a group of people. And then to be bringing it and setting up and all of that type of stuff. So I appreciate her charity to Teaquilts Quilt Retreat. And like I said, I do pay her. You all pay me. I do pay her, but I pay her more than what you all pay me. And she still ain't at her value of what she would be paid for doing what she does. And her food tastes good. So I wanted to make sure that I got her something nice that I know she loves. Anything Leo-ish, like not necessarily collect lions, but she enjoys being a Leo. And she can't wait for Leo season. She lets everybody know Leos are marching in, you know. So I feel like this is going to be one of her favorite quilts that I've ever given her. So that's what I'm hoping for. So, and I know you all can't see it all here, but it is what it is. And I'm hoping to work on that. If not, what I'll do is I'll cut for my Happy Place quilt. So let me show you what I have been doing with my Happy Place quilt. So first thing up is I finally sat down here and did some. I had to do the reason why I didn't want to work on this quilt is because I knew I was going to have to do some machine embroidery and then trying to make it fit. And you know, I had to go back and forth a couple of times to get it right. And so you all have seen this, but let me show you what I changed on here. It's on the other side. And I'm really sad now that I turned this camera backwards, because now you're not going to be able to read. You know, I come tell you all what I'm going to be doing, and then I have a couple of you all that are bossy and tells me what I need to do. And this time I actually listened. You know, I do listen a lot, but I listened this time and took the 100% total suggestion. I did not even change it up even. So look at this, guys, because somebody said, what are you going to name your quilt shop? And I go, I don't know, Teaquilts Quilt Shop or something. I said, you know, because I hadn't even thought of that. I just knew I wanted to put a name on the quilt shop, so people know that the reason why this house looking block is in here is because it's a quilt shop and it's my happy place. So, and I also decided to double use that and make sure that I put Teaquilts in here somewhere. So now my name is actually, my company name is in the quilt, and I'll show you later where I figured out how to get my name in the quilt as well. So this one here was Bonita's suggestion. So here we go. And you're not going to be able to read it because it's going to be backwards. So I did put Teaquilts LLC, and she said call it the Scraptastic Quilt Shop. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I did get on Bonita when she told me that, because I'm like, girl, do you know how many letters that is? This is a 1-inch spot. It is not that long. It's a quilt block. And so I didn't think it was going to fit. And it took me forever to get all of this stuff in here. People saying they love the quilt. So thank you all so much. I'm behind y'all. Love the quilt colors. Are beautiful. Yes, let Joyce know the food is always very tasty and the best. That's Paula. Thank you, Paula. So yeah, so I'm going to take it to her tomorrow so I have more time to spend with her. Because if I go after she goes to work, it's going to be in the evening, and I don't be messing around in the evening now because we have all the crazy drivers out then. So I'm gonna go when the Sunday drivers are out. You know, I used to run from the Sunday drivers. Now I'm running from these crazy drivers. It ain't just weekend either. They driving crazy all the time. So yeah, so that's what I did with the house block. Once I got that done, I was able to put this top and bottom. This was the spacer between this row and that row. And so I was able to get all of that done. So now my bottom sections are done, this is what starts. So it's going to be backwards for you all. Sorry. But this is what I'm working with. That's the left side of the quilt. I know it looks backwards to you all. And then this is the right side of the quilt. Right there. All right. Now I'm working on top and bottom row. And y'all know that last time we were here, not too long ago, week and a half ago, I made Millie's dresses. I also made scissors and spools block. But I also, before that, had made book blocks. So let me get those. Uh-oh, I got everything pinned up on the wall. I'm trying not to lose anything up in here. I got pins everywhere. So, I went to title these books, and I did have 2 books that are my favorite. As far as one, I've made the most patterns out of this book, and it is a book that's not even rotary cut instructions. It's template based, but I just measure their templates and I rotary cut everything in it. And it is the book that I have made the most quilts out of any one book. Even compilation books like America Patchwork and Quilting might have a book, and they might have 4 years of quilt patterns in them. I have made more quilts out of the book called Quick and Easy Scrap Quilts by Oxmoor House. And the cover, it's an old book. It's all templates. And when you look at it, you're not going to want to be bothered with it. But I'm telling you, it's some of the most beautiful quilts in there. And I just ignored all them templates because y'all know that I'm not going to make a quilt by using templates to cut the entire quilt out. But I wanted to recognize that book because that's what started my scrap quilt journey. So that's what's on this spine here. Had to make sure all that stuff was gonna fit in there. So got that one. And then in order for me to get my name in, because I was gonna put another book in that I actually learned a lot of my techniques from when I first started quilting, but I did not. I ended up using my most purchased pattern, the Exploding Star, and then that way I got to put my name in there. So I was trying to figure out like which one of my patterns should I put in here, and I decided to go with that. So that is done. So that's 4 blocks. You all have recently, do I need to show y'all Millie's dresses and the spools? Let me just make sure for those that are late to the game. I got pins and everything here. So Millie's dress, I've been talking about this. I want to do a whole pattern, but I had done a test pattern with that. And then I go, oh, this would really be cute in the Tula quilt, my happy place, because I used to be a dressmaker. That's how I started. I started sewing first. And then I also made this block, which is really pretty as well. And it's got tape with my sizes because I need to know what size they are. So yeah, that wasn't enough. Me getting all the embroidery done. I already had these 4 blocks. Got the embroidery on everything I needed embroidery on thus far. So then I started making a couple of blocks. So I'm going to use scissors because they have applique scissors, and you all know I'm not doing any applique. So her scissors are, Lori Holt's patterns are just beautiful because the ones I've seen from the ladies that have made it, it is just gorgeous. And I love her big scissors, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm piecing everything, and whereas a lot of her stuff is applique. So I decided to make 2 smaller scissors right here that are pieced. And the bottom one's a little busy with the background print, but hey, it is what it is. But you know, I'm trying to, Tula doesn't have a whole lot of background fabrics. They're busy that they overtake, and then I don't feel like using a white tone on tone, which she does have, looks like Tula. I don't even think that these flowers look like Tula. It just is a Tula fabric, and so I went ahead and used it. So I haven't pressed these at my other iron yet. So I did those 2 blocks, and then I also did this block as well. I don't forget what this is, but since the name of it anyway. Let's see. I don't forget what the name of this is. It doesn't have it on the back paper. It's paper piece. But when I saw these two spools, I thought this would be so perfect to use the Best Friends fabric. And this is the only one I had that would fit in there. And I thought this would be too cute with the two thread spools and to call it Best Friends. So yeah, I decided to fussy cut these two pieces. Actually, my thread spools are fussy cut too, but that's a whole nother issue. But I did 3 blocks on my Tula quilt in addition to having these 4 done. And then I also have, which I'm not going to pull out, I have 3 of the 4 corner blocks made. I forgot to piece the other corner block. I just ran out of time doing one piecing session. And this whole time I've been thinking that I had it all sewed. And when I went through the bag, I realized I still have not sewed 1 block. So I have at least 6 more blocks to make. And then I need some filler sections. And the filler sections could be strings of crumbs. They could be like units, like I can make some half square triangles or things like that, or just add a plain sashing strip. So that's what I'm currently working on, and that's what I've been doing this week. Let me see if I can read just some of the past comments. Let me go back a little bit. Celeste says, can't wait to see the completed My Happy Place quilt. And then you know that I went to So Busy Guild meeting today and left my show and tell on the wall because I had it all organized and neat. I left the show and tell. I brought the quilt. I brought the t-shirt quilt so that t-shirts for the t-shirt quilt so that I could cut those. And then when I got there, when it was time for show and tell, I said, I am so mad at myself. I was up to like 3 o'clock. 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning, working on all these different projects that I needed to work on. Got up early so that I could trim my sister's quilt that I had put the binding on early in the morning too, you know. And then I did take the quilt, thank God, because it's going to be given to my sister, so nobody else will be seeing this quilt. She's going to get that tomorrow, even if I have to stay up tonight and do it, which y'all know I'm up at night anyway. It's no big deal. I worked hard making all those 3 blocks, all these little bitty pieces. And yeah, it's like, how can you leave the show and tell? I told all of them, y'all need to watch my live tonight so you can see my show and tell. So I am enjoying making the blocks. My whole upper top area is just about going to be needed to be recreated because most of the top area was all applique. There's only one section of piece spools that are not applique. So most of my top section will be I have to figure it out, and I'm redoing the grid and everything because my blocks don't even fit into the grid of the blocks that she has in the quilt top. So it just is what it is. I think because of that, I'm having to make more blocks than, you know, I should be having to make, but it is what it is at this point. So I got about maybe 3 blocks that I'm making 2 of so that I can just get them into the grid so I don't have to keep changing the blocks. Like I made 2 scissors. I'm going to do 2-piece pin cushions and 2-piece rotary cutters. So I got all kinds of things that I'm planning to put in here. And let me see. My bag is right here. Trying to see what was the other stuff. It's on front. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I need 2 rotary cutters, 2 pin cushions, and then I wanted to add, I got that black Tula pink fabric and I wanted to do a featherweight on it, so I wanted to do another sewing machine. And then also I wanted to do a quilt that looks like it's on a clothesline. So I want it to look like it's outside. So that would be my 6 blocks that I need. And then I just need to do fillers after that. I got one major fill space that I can put some, she has some thread spools in the top section. I'm just going to redo those and maybe put them over on a side somewhere. And then just some half square triangles and sashing type fillers. So I'm getting really excited about it being done. I have so many projects I'm working on that I'm behind. As you can see, I got the exploding star. I want to do Millie's dresses. That's why I have not cut Millie's dresses, because I haven't done exploding star. I haven't finished this African map. It's still in the same position as when I sewed with you all on Wednesday. Haven't done a thing. And but I did get 3 of, I'm like, I don't know why. Of all the things that I could sew on, I was like, I need to get Happy Place done so I can at least have one of my big projects done. It's not due until December, but you know, I'll look up and December will be here. I got it buried in a bag somewhere and it just won't be done. So I put it on the design wall and say, okay, we're going to have to work on this. So that's what I've been doing. People saying they love the Happy Place quilt too, bright and beautiful. And it's Tula Pink fabric line, but I have added in grunge in particular places because Tula fabric just wasn't enough to, I needed something that was more solid to make it stand out because I'm using print on print on print. So every once in a while I throw in grunge when I need to give it some distinction. If I don't need to use grunge, then I go ahead and try to make the whole block with Tula fabric. But I'm not using a whole lot of grunge and I'm not using a lot of grunge. I'm mostly using it when I need to shadow something, or like waistband and the collar on Millie's dresses, things that are small in the quilt. But I felt like if I use another Tula print with all the other prints, that it was going to get, the detail in the block was going to get lost. Like I should have probably used a grunge when I picked this floral print, but I'm trying to use, you know, the fabrics and things that have come in fat quarter bundles and things like that. Like, let me show you some of her lights. I got my quilt top on top of the quilt. Because I have my Tula stuff in this room because I was working on it. But like, this is a light, but it's just busy. And then I'm trying, it's not that many of them. This is another one I've used a lot. This is the same as the green, this blue. And then I haven't figured out, I've only used this once and cut out the dog in a fussy cut. I haven't been able to use this one yet, nor this one. I think I've been just fussy cutting out fire hydrants, dogs, things like that. But they're not used in the light format. I had this one. So it's not, to me, it's not a lot of lights. This is turtle. You know, it depends on where you cutting it. So I haven't been able to cut it, nor this one. You seen that one. And then she has the ones that have the sewing stuff. I've used that, but I've only got a couple. That color and this one. So I feel like I've used everything a lot. I've been using this as a background and this one as a background. And this one is kind of iffy. I've been able to use it in certain places. Just depends on if I've got something medium dark and then very dark. And then this gray one that I think I might either use in the border I had. I'm not sure if I want to use this or if I want to use the teal fabric that I have. So, and then this is the one polka dot one you've seen in a couple of the blocks up here that I've already used. So yeah, it's I feel like we need more light stuff with Tula's lines. And she has, like I said, she does have some tone on tone whites, but to me it doesn't look like that would go with Tula stuff, so I didn't even purchase any of that. I purchased this floral when I, it was numerous times that I was like, I'm going to put that back. I'm going to put that back. And then I went ahead and bought it, but I can see now using it, it really doesn't look like her regular style. And I don't know if I'm not using it anymore in this quilt, but I don't even know if, it might just go into regular sewing stash and not in the Tula stuff. But yes, the spools are great. And then people T says that my sister's going to love the quilt. And Paula says, great suggestion from Bernita, fits you to a T. Yes. So I was trying to make sure everything was included on this quilt. That was important since it's my happy place. Jason says, looks amazing. If you're looking for a home for that quilt, just let me know, Miss T. You can quilt it, Jason, and then give it back. Patrice says, it is stunning and beautiful. The colors are yummy. Thank you. Hi, Lana Dean. Welcome to the chat. Quilts by Carmel. Oh, I didn't even know I don't think I said she was here. So welcome to the chat first. And then she's also saying, excellent, love the name Bonita. Yes. Hi, Maddie. Says it looks good, T. And Jason says, Miss T, how special you are, ultra personalizing this. Yes, because it's like, I crochet. I don't care if it's represented in my quilt. I have done some kind of cross stitch. I'm definitely not going to do anything to put it into a quilt. It takes too much time. I've knitted, but it was not successful because it kept getting smaller. I kept missing one turn. So I was missing something every time I turned at the end. So, yeah, I just want what I want in it, and I didn't want what Lori Holt wanted in hers. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you to everyone. It's so many of you all, I can't even get everybody. Yeah, Darcy, that was the point of the thread spool blocks, to have those stripes going either way. And there's two different ways that you can make the stripes. And it's based on if you have a 1/2-inch stripe or a 1/4-inch stripe. And I had a 1/2-inch stripe, so I couldn't do the other block. And I went searching through my Tula fabrics trying to see if I could find a 1/4-inch stripe. And I didn't have any. And I wasn't buying anything else because we got enough Tula in here now to make about 30 Tula quilts. Okay, y'all know how it is. So, yeah. But that's the whole point. Spools are off the chain. Yes. Hey, Gwen Bess, welcome. Thank you, Patrice. She says it is crazy good. It keeps getting better and better. Yes, and I do know what some people have problem with is when you're doing a quilt with something like Tula fabrics, you do have to be somebody that understands value. It's not the colors all the time, because I'm not trying to match colors. Matter of fact, I'm trying to contrast the colors, because they'll show up better. But you have to know your values when you are working with Tula prints. I don't know why my phone keeps going crazy here tonight. Let me look, just in case. I had something open, so I'm not going to have all the notifications up here. Okay, so y'all come on to the live and then start sending me stuff. Some of y'all. And some people going through getting orders and things like that. So y'all too funny. But yeah. Hi, Lou Alfred. Welcome to the chat. Kevin talking about, welcome to the channel, Teaquilts, old and new. Minnie says she's cutting Millie's dresses, and she's fussy cutting as well. Remo's reminding you all to hit the thumbs up button. So yes, thank you. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. I really would appreciate it. Hey, Miss Brenda Foley, we were talking about you today at a club meeting. We were just going over, well, we were talking about retreats in general because we had to go over the So Busy retreat. We're in the middle of planning it. And so then we start talking about the Flower Valley quilt retreats, the Teaquilts retreats. You know, it was like a slew of things. And so your name came up today. So just know that you were loved on today. Zandra Odom is here. Welcome. And this is why I can't get anything done, because I have a, let me explain my quilting process, I guess. I haven't sewed a thing, but I've shown you all what I have done without you, okay? But my quilting process is, I'm really a jack of all trades. So I can do any quilting technique that I want to do. I know how to do it. I've already done it. It's nothing new under the sun. It's just how your end result on how you're going to get there. So I have done all styles. I have done traditional piecing. I have done template piecing. I have done fusible applique. I have done needle turn applique, which is my favorite and why I'm not doing this quilt. Because I don't have time to needle turn applique. And if I wanted to do it Lori Holt's way, I would want it needle turn, because I have done fusible. And over the years, if you use a quilt and wash it, the fusible starts to fray along the edges. I don't care what type of stitching you got. I'm telling you because I know this. I've been making quilts since 1994. So trust me. If you start washing it and using quilts, the fusible is going to start raising up on the edge. It's not as crisp as it is. And I didn't want that for this particular quilt. So that's why I did not use fusible as an option to do the blocks that I really liked of Lori Holt's, because I loved her iron block. I love her scissor block. It's some blocks I could do without, thanks to Kevin, the quilter, being a fool. And I love that sewing machine block. I think that's my favorite sewing machine I've ever made. And it's got to do with the Tula fabrics as well. But it's a beautiful block. And it's not even just Tula fabric, because everybody's sewing machine that we've shown has been really, really pretty. Cynthia showed hers today. It was really, really pretty. Norma is using Lori Holt's kit, her fabrics that came from Fat Quarter Shop. And so hers is very pretty too. And I didn't think that I liked the fabrics online. But looking at Norma's quilt in person, it's a beautiful quilt. So I'm a jack of all trades. Other things I've done paper piecing. I've done paper piecing where I have sewn on the paper lines and it's sewed through. I've done paper piecing where I have not sewed through any seam on the paper. Other techniques. I've done curve piecing. I've done miniature piecing. Trying to think of some other techniques. Basically, any technique with quilting, I have done it. And so I'm a technique junkie for real. And I love piecing, and I don't care about quilting. I don't care about binding. I don't care about any of that. I love to piece. And so I have a lot of projects, and that's because I get bored. And so when I get bored, I don't want to play with that anymore. So then I move on to what? Another new project. I love to piece, and that's just what it is. And with me now I used to piece every day. I used to get like 35 to 50 pieces started and completed in a year. I started doing more teaching, so I started having UFOs, because I'm one of those people that teach different ways for the different learning styles. So I'll have the pattern that you advanced quilters can go read and make it without hearing one word from me. And then I have the people that like to see each step stepped out onto the display board. I got some people that want me to come to their little section and stand with them while they sew a couple of seams. So, you know, I try to teach to all the levels when I'm in person. That's why I don't really prefer Zoom teaching, because I am kind of a hands-on teacher. And then as soon as I will finish one of my teaching things, then I'm looking up and I'm doing it again. Like on this exploding star, I have about, let's see, let's make sure I'm not telling tales. So 5, 6, I have 6 where the quilt tops are done. I think only one of them is not quilted. I have this red one started because then as soon as I got the other top done, somebody requested the exploding star class again. So I can't go in without having these steps made. And so when I'm making these steps, then of course I'm making another quilt again, and I can never make them the same. So this is the first one that I use just one fabric in the background. So that's kind of what I am, who I am. I don't get frustrated with how many projects I have. But I would like to see some of my favorite ones completed. And that's the thing that I'm having issues with. I want my happy place done. And I also want the African map done, just because I want it done. I like those two and I want them done. The exploding star is like the least thing on my to-do list. And why is that? Because I already have 6 of them. So, but it is, you know, it was something that people wanted to do, wanted a class on. I kept getting requests. Even people that had already bought their patterns still was having questions. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do a Zoom. But it's not my first priority. It's not my project. It's not something that I want to do or wanted to do. It was just something that needed to be done. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Deborah says that, T, it is your happy place. Yes, because I tried to make sure that everything I put in here that I liked. I even put machine embroidery, and I really didn't want to put it in here, but I'm like, I do a lot of machine embroidery. So I went ahead and put that little section in here. That's probably the only section I'm not like 100% happy with, but it's in there anyway. So let's see. We still got a little less than an hour. I'm not going to get this top quilted. Let me see if I cleaned this out. Like before I put this bobbin in, I cleaned it out, but I didn't oil it. And I really don't want to oil it because I don't want oil on my sister's quilt if I do put it up here. So that's why I'm trying not to put oil in the bobbin case right now. I'll do it when I quit sewing for tonight. I'll clean it out again and put it in there. But yeah, so I used to get a lot of stuff done. I'm sad that I don't have things finished. I have so many quilt tops. I bought my long arm because I had over 50 quilt tops. I probably have 70 quilt tops now that need to be quilted. So the long arm didn't solve that problem. I really don't care about quilting either. I'm a piecer. If you ask me what I love most about the quilt making process, it's piecing. Traditional piecing. I'm a traditional girl. That's what I grew up loving at the age of 5. That's what I started with. That's what I love. And that's why I love scrap quilts. It's also part of that, what I grew up with. So, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember now if I'm supposed to put this in this thing or not. I don't think so. We're going to go down and up. I think that's just for the bobbin. I haven't had to wind the bobbin because I wound so many bobbins and then just took it to retreat. Sure feels tight, but It is what it is. Oh, it's tight because the presser foot's down because my knee has hit the lift. Makes a big difference, guys. Let me make sure it's in the in the tension guides, you know. When something is tight, it's because it's not right. All right, now I can put the presser foot down to thread it. Okay, now let's pull up the bobbin thread. So yeah. Hi, Leetta Bryant. Welcome to the chat, lady. Yes, Miss T, you have to know your values in Tula Pink fabrics. That's from Lana. And Kevin says he's finishing up D blocks for Exploding Star tonight. So Kevin has gone and got it done really fast. It's just not, yes, I love my Exploding Star and I love each version of my Exploding Star. It's just that I'm working on projects that I want to work on first. And so I haven't done it. Also, think about, I got Ribbon Star. I need to finish soon. I got projects that I'm working on that I need to finish soon. I need that Take 5 quilt done within the next, excuse me, I'm burping off of nothing because I haven't had a thing to eat. I need the Take 5 quilt done within the next month, next 30 days, not the end of September. I'm talking about 30 days from today. So I got things that I need to do. And then, you know, I wanted to work on this. It's like what I need to do, I got to do those. So I'm going to be working on the Take 5 quilt. I'm going to have to put this to the side, but at least I got 3 more blocks done. I know what patterns, I've made a little grid for myself, so I know what patterns I'm going to be doing, so I don't have to do that anymore. And I want to work on the Africa map, but it's like I got projects and things coming up, and now I got a commission quilt for somebody. I want to get that done as well. So it's like I'm going to have to do the assignments. I love my assignments, but I have to do those before I do the things that I really, 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 really love. And so that's kind of what's going on here. And I don't know when I'm going to get a commission job. And I never turn away somebody's memory quilt because of the fact that it's a memory quilt. And I want them to have what they want. For somebody that doesn't quilt to even know that memory quilts exist, they went to another quilter that was a very good quilter. She just doesn't, and it amazes me, and you all are in here and you can vouch for this too. It's a lot of quilters that will not make a t-shirt quilt. They're just not going to do it. And so she has an acquaintance. I don't know if they're friends or acquaintances or just passing in the night, you know. I don't know what their relationship is as far as how close they are, but she knows that this other girl, this other lady quilts, but she doesn't do t-shirt quilts, so she referred her to me. And it just amazes me how many quilters don't make t-shirt quilts and don't want to have any parts of them. So, but I do them because people go out of their way when they are memory quilts to get them done. And I just want to make sure that anybody that wants a memory quilt can get a memory quilt. I'm not doing it for free. Some people, I do them for free. Depends on if I know the person and my relationship with that person and how that person treated me. So let me make sure I get all of that out for these people that's watching these videos and thinking that I will make you a memory quilt for free. No, I'm not. It depends on my relationship with you and them. But yeah, so I do try to make them reasonably priced so that I'm not sending them to the bank to get something that they want, but I also want to make sure that they pay something for it because I want to make sure that that quilt is loved, you know. and that it's well taken care of by the family when they receive it. So, but I do love making t-shirt quilts. It's actually one of my favorite things to do because it is a memory quilt. Linda Denton is here, says, yes, I love to piece and have so many quilt tops that is not quilted because I just want to make tops. Exactly. You all hear me say I've got a lot of quilts quilted. I probably have 10 quilts that are quilted, and it's been years, like 2021, 2022, and they don't have binding on them. Okay, so they're not finished because they don't have binding. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I hate binding. Even, you know, on my quilts, I do the binding to the front, hand sew to the back. And it takes, if it's a bed size quilt, it can take me up to 2 hours each side to do the hand sewing for that. You know, you got to cut thread that's 18 inches because you don't want to cut long pieces of thread because it starts to fray before you use it all up. And then if it breaks in an awkward spot, then you got to fix that. So, you know, you're constantly threading needles. So I start by threading like 10 needles, and that's where those little needle domes come into play. They're really good for things like that. But it's just not something I love. I know how to do it, and I do it very well and do it professionally. It's just not something that I enjoy. Yeah, the quilt will be done, but oh well. I'm not happy about it. So, Helena and Lana says they like quilt piecing too. With Don. Minnie says, T, my tip for my Millie's dresses is I tape different. Oh, so she's taping off what she's cutting so she doesn't have to keep lining up because she's fussy cutting. I only did this one. Long as it fit in there, I didn't really care because it's a little bit different with African prints, and I'm sure she's cutting African prints. But yeah, I can see using like a window template on that type of thing too. Yeah, I could see that. Or a clear template would also work. Some people will like draw the top 2 corners, and then you'll know where your you'll know where the ruler edge goes, and then your ruler will automatically do the other 2. So I've seen different ways of doing it. Kevin talking about Miss T understood the assignment. Don't you start, Kevin. I love making a t-shirt request. I've made several, and I've been commissioned to make several. I like it, and I like to get different, I don't know, on tape on top of them when I see your t-shirt quilts. Yeah. So all of my commissioned t-shirt quilts I try to get them done. I put them before a lot of other stuff, again, for a number of reasons. Sometimes people are gifting them to other people. And then again, if it's a memory quilt, I want to also make sure that that person has what they want, because it's a lot when your loved one has passed. And some people, it takes them years to go through the clothing. I didn't ask her any particulars about her daughter's death. I did ask her, when I get a t-shirt commission, one of the things that I do ask is that you write me a small paragraph about your person, and tell me also like their favorite colors, things that they like to do, like what are their t-shirts centered around, things like that, so that I can get a feel for that person. And then I can know that I'm putting in colors that this person would have used, because not every shirt is going to, every t-shirt quilt, I don't just say if you got black shirts, I don't just automatically make your t-shirt quilt. I say, oh, they must like black, and then I'll use black, white, maybe some spot of red. I want to put colors in there that if it's a memory quilt, that it's for the person. If it's a quilt that's for a team quilt or something like that, yeah, I fully understand that. I've done a lot of team quilts. Those were not memory quilts. But when they're memory quilts and you're just giving me hodgepodge of their clothing, I want to make sure that there's something of that person represented as well. So looking forward to all the things I'm going to be doing with this quilt. I'm going to have fun pulling my novelty prints too. So that's going to be cool. Jason says he hates binding too. Hi, Thomasina. Welcome. And she says she enjoys piecing too. That's her favorite part as well. What is a good stabilizer to use for t-shirt quilts? I have all my shirts, but I don't have any stabilizer. I will tell you all, I have T-shirt Quilting 101 on my as a tab, and I start with how I cut. And a lot of people rotary cut. For some reason, I'm just very comfortable with scissors, and I cut. Another reason I do it is because, like today, I had so busy guild meeting, and I was able to just take some scissors with the t-shirts. Scissors and t-shirts, that's all I need. And I can cut all my t-shirts up in one setting and not have needing a large space to do that. So I talk about cutting. The next step I talk about is stabilizers, and I take you through all the stabilizers that you could have bought like at Joann's, and I tell you the pros and cons of each one. My main goal is I want to get my stabilizer as cheap as possible. It's going to be on the inside of the quilt, and as long as it does the job, that's all I need it to do. And that is to make sure that my t-shirt edges do not curl. My quilt is going to have batting in it. A lot of people do not put batting in their t-shirt quilts. My t-shirt quilt is going to be quilted very well. A lot of people do not quilt t-shirts. They make, when you see companies saying, we'll make you a t-shirt quilt for $100, $150, know that, again, it's like those Villa Rosa $2 patterns. You're going to get what you pay for. And then when they holding the quilts up and they're all smiling and saying, look, I got my t-shirt quilt, and they're smiling, and then you look at the bottom and you see the sagging bag, because all they did was just birth this quilt. No batting, no quilting. I don't do that. I have standards over here. So my quilts, my t-shirt quilts have stabilizer. They have batting, and they are quilted like a quilt. Some people don't want to go over the logos. I find it does not matter. I have a Gammo Longhorn machine. I don't know what type of machine they're quilting on, but I have never had any problems quilting. I even have sweatshirts that have been included in my t-shirt memory type quilts because the sweatshirt was one of their favorites. So yeah, so I go over I got a hoodie in this one I cut up. So it just depends. And she even let me know, asked me ahead of time if that type of stuff could go in there. And I said, sure, it's no problem. But the stabilizer does matter, but I also try to use the cheapest price point. However, on this one, I am using, I'll tell you, SF 101. That interfacing was like, last time Joann's was selling it, I think it was like $9.99 a yard. If I was buying that at regular price, it would not be in a customer's t-shirt quilt. You can't see it. I just use your basic knit like tricot interfacing, and it stretches. You know, your t-shirt stretches this way. Okay, and so when you cut interfacing on the stretchy kind, is for knits. It also has a stretch, and so if you pull it and it stretches like this, you don't want to put it on your shirt where it stretches like this. You want to put it on your shirt so that it stretches like that. You see how less stress stretches here as compared to here? You want to turn that interfacing so that the stretch are opposing each other. So your stretches are like this. Your stretches are not like this. They're going to be opposing like that. Then you can use the cheaper, because that interfacing could have been like maybe $3.50 a yard or less. And when you're doing t-shirt quilt, remember, you're going to need 10 to 15 yards depending on the size of your quilt to interface all of those t-shirts. So I have 30 t-shirts that I'm going to interface. Now, I just happen to have out a bolt of SF 101. I plan to use it, but I didn't cut it today. Now that I'm home, I may go down into my storage in the basement and I may get the knit interfacing, because it'll be a cheaper price point for me, especially on a quilt that is going to be more custom, that I'm not going to get paid for all the way. I just charged enough to make sure this person really want this quilt. And I might end up switching to the cheaper interfacing. I do use the knit interfacing a lot because it's inside. You're not going to see it. I'm going to have batting and I'm going to quilt it. So it doesn't really matter. A lot of times you go to the companies, not quilters. I'm talking about like these people that say, we'll make you a t-shirt quilt for $100. Those people are not interfacing. They're not using batting, and they're not quilting. And the price point reflects the work that's being done. So, but again, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Kevin. It looks like Kevin has given you the link to the first video in the playlist, and then they all should play after that. So thank you, Kevin. Kevin says, I love piecing, especially using the leftovers from others deemed as trash in my scrap quilt. So that's cool. Jenny says, I've only make one quilt at a time, start to finish. And I do know that there are a lot of people that do that. And that's how I started out. And then even though I started young, I am so glad that I started quilting young, when I was the only young person quilting and or sewing. All my friends were out at the music festivals and things like that, and I'm home quilting, and I was just fine with that. And I'm glad that I did that, because I've gotten a lot of things checked off my list that I want to do. And some people say they say, when I retire, I'm going to start quilting. And then once they start quilting, retired, they wish they would have started before they retired, because now with so many things that they want to do, and they know that they're only going to live to be, you're on the back end of your life. Hate to say this. We don't know how many years we're going to be blessed on this earth. But if you're retiring at 65, let's say that, you're not going to probably live another 65 years. So you feel like you've already missed the time you could have been making quilts up to that time. So that's what I hear from people a lot. But yeah. Also, can you put sweatshirts on a t-shirt quilt? I think I just talked about that. I put a hoodie. It's really thick. I cut a hoodie today. Long armers know what to do with the thick stuff. We use a foot that's called a spoon foot, so that it goes over the different heights and it won't get jammed. So, but yeah, it can be done if your long arm quilter has that. So thank you, Kevin, for the link. And Jason says, Kevin, you are such a good assistant. Hi, Sue Allen. Welcome to the chat. There's craziness in here. Had it on. I got like things that I've sewn half square triangles already. I'm just going to sew real close to the line just in case I want to press these open. I just want to make sure it's sewing right, that I threaded everything, because as you all know, I've been sewing on this machine since I came back from retreat, because I'm trying to make myself sew on some of my other machines, because I'm not as prolific with them. I used my Falf a lot because it was my travel machine. I'm now going to make this Juki my travel machine. I still have not even called about my Bernina. If I don't call Monday or Tuesday, and my Bernina is going to be back in here by Wednesday. Otherwise, if it's not in here, I have an appointment made. So I just want to make sure that the stitching is okay on all of that. And I want to take tape off of my table. I was cutting pieces and labeling them this time, so we didn't have those issues that I had when I've been sewing before. So let's put that down. I don't know if, I'm trying to see what's going to move if I start sewing over here on a quilt. Okay. We don't have that much room. I moved all the stuff that sits right here. I don't need this phone. It can get buried. I don't want to cut the TV on, so let's move the remote. And let's see if I can just start at the bottom. But I got to leave something open anyway to put the label up here. So let's see. I just want to stitch in the ditch this binding down. Like I said, I normally will press with a heated iron, press this out all the way around, and then I flip it so that this side is now up on the ironing board. And then I will press this over. And then I know everything is in order. So I don't have to be doing all of that when I'm over here. But, you know, lazy girl came home and took a relaxation thing, fell asleep for a little bit. And so this is where we are. So let me find where I need to finish. I normally put my labels in the corner, but maybe this time I'm going to be putting it on the center where I got to connect the binding. So I'm not going to connect the binding, so that way I can't sew it. Because if I sew it, then I might forget. Or should we just go ahead and do it? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And get that out the way so I don't get stuck by pins. Okay? We don't want to get stuck either. How much space do you leave when cutting the t-shirts? Since I'm going to be squaring everything up after the fact, I just cut up the sides like this. And if it's got a back side, then I make sure that I'm not going to cut into the back side. Otherwise, I'll just put the scissors. I got a t-shirt on. Otherwise, I will find the center side, make my fold, and then just go up the side. And that might mean that I'm going through some of the sleeve section as well, because there have been times on the back of the shirt that I've had to, because it was so long and I needed to get everything, because this was so far up that I needed to get everything up here, maybe even a little bit of the neck banding, so that I could at least put a 1/4 inch seam in it. It just depends on how the shirts are printed. So I have had sleeve seams in my quilts as well if I need to, but I just cut them and then I'm leaving them like that until I know where it's gonna go, because this I have a feeling this is gonna end up being a custom quilt that I'm not gonna get custom paid for. And I'm okay with that, because I just charged the base minimum price, and she wants it, I think she said full size, I can't remember. So I'm making a quilt that's about 80 by 96 is my goal. And so I did charge her a little bit more, because I kind of already knew she wanted it a little bit bigger, but I didn't know it was going to need to be custom. I thought I was only going to be having something around like 21 t-shirts, and I have 30 t-shirts. So it's a lot of t-shirts. And I even have some extra ones. If you need more, you can use these type things. But so yeah, it just depends. So like I said, I will not get my money out of this, but I know the quilt's going to be well loved. That's the main thing. And I'm going to do this just so I don't, you know, stick myself with these big pins, because I got my long arm pins, because I put the binding on while it was on the long arm frame. I do that sometimes, you know, especially on customer quilts or quilts that I'm not going to have to look at. It's not 100% perfect, but it does a beautiful job. I think I did one with Sharon's on the long arm. Didn't I, Sharon? Sharon Lewis, let me know. You know, I do them when I want to be quick. But if it's something I'm going to put into a quilt show, then no, I wouldn't put the binding on, because they're going to be checking it for perfection. If it's a quilt that I'm going to use wash, nobody's going to know the difference, then I go ahead and put it on the long arm just to save me some time. Because it's easier to do there than it is over here in this smaller space that you see me in now. Trying to do the binding from start to finish. Clover says, you're exactly right. I should have started quilting earlier. My granddaughter will turn 6 years old this month, and she wants to learn to quilt. That's awesome. And we do have a lady in our guild that she has taught her grandchildren to quilt. Even the boy, she has 3 or 4 of them. And one of the girls really likes it. She done like children things with Machine Quilter Showcase, and has won sewing machines and everything. So it's cool. So I'm just connecting these binding ends that I can't do on the long arm. That's what I'm doing now. So yeah. Michelle the Quilter says, thanks, Kevin. I found, what did she find? Let's see. Let me type some gibber. I found the video easily. You are very good, great assistant. He's going to kill me one of these days. If I'm gone, check for Kevin. The things I get him involved in. Oh my God, that was an innocent act that I labeled him the assistant. It's so funny because he calls himself my manager. And it was funny because I'm trying to get him an H&H ticket, and just out the blue, I'm deep into this program trying to register him. And they go, who are you trying to register? So I put his name in, first, last name. Next thing I enter, pops up job title. I'm like, you know, most folks is coming, got big companies and stuff like Riley Blake, you know, huge companies. No, it's just Teaquilts. And it's like, I really don't have any staff, but I'm trying to bring Kevin, and he needs to get in, but he doesn't have a company. Let me see if I can make him an employee. And then they say, what's his title? And I put assistant. Like, whatever that means. Oh my gosh. So I don't know why I'm using these little pins. Let's use the flower head pins. They're longer. And he talking about innocent my foot. Yeah, I am innocent. Lana says she has been someone since she was in high school. I had started quilting in 1996. When I retired in 2000, that was my plan, to make quilts for family because that is what grandmothers and auntie did. Yes. Vivian saying good morning. Vivian, do you need to go to bed? Talking about good morning. Y'all know Miss Vivian don't be up late. Oh my gosh. Oh, she did correct it. That is funny. All right, so I'm gonna trying to make sure it's still threaded, because y'all know I don't normally be dealing with this stuff. Just want to stitch this binding down. So at least I don't have pins in here now when I start turning it. And it'll be time for us to go soon. I won't have to do any sewing. What time is it? I still got 40 minutes. Okay. So this is the corner right here that I normally put my label in. But if I start right here, then I can go this way. Leave that corner open. Oh, but I'm stitching from the front, not the back. So I want to start here. I want to start on this side of the corner and turn it around. Sometimes I stitch where I put the binding to the back. If I don't do it on my long arm, I'll put the binding to the back and then turn it to the front. But if I do it on the long arm, then I, of course, have to put the binding on the front. And I'm going to leave because I might do her a custom label. It just depends on how much time I have. Or I may have to wait till Monday to give it to her if I get too crazy. Because I want her to know that this quilt is special. So, now this is the other thing. I'm used to, you know, my Bernina open toe foot so I can see. It's got a slot here, but it's like that would be too much concentration. Let's see what other feet are in here because I don't use this stuff. It's just a zipper foot. I have feet that go to my brother, but of course they're not here. I have a walking foot and a free motion foot. We're not doing any of that. I do have other feet that will go on a on the brother that will also work on the Juki, but that's in another room too. Oh boy. I might not be stitching this. Hold on. Let me see how difficult this is going to be. See, that's why I abuse Kevin, because y'all just blow his head up and I have to like bring him back down to earth. That's my job. Okay, trying to hold this so it don't disappear. So I can do my stitches. Good night, Lana. I'm just going to do, you know what? This is like more stress on my hand. It's stitching it down, but it's more stress to hold it down instead of me having my, instead of it being pressed by the iron. I just have to do a little bit at a time. But this quilt is so pretty. I just love this quilt. I can't wait to get mine done. But again, I gotta, Jennifer did something really fancy with hers. I think I may just have to piece mine. Her quilt, her blocks are beautiful that she made. And I don't know if I want to do all of that. But I can't even work on that because I got 2 projects I need to get done. I have the t-shirt quilt doesn't need to be done for 60 days. I gave a 60-day due day. And the other quilt I have is 30 days out. So I got a 30-day project and a 60-day project. And I'm quilting other people's quilts. Yes. I don't know whether I'm coming or going sometimes. Oh my gosh. What time is Zoom tomorrow? I forgot to send an email telling that we are working on just make something with charm squares. So sew something with charm squares. And it could just be charm squares in a row because that's probably all I'm going to do. Because I don't have time. Now, oh, I see him. I was getting ready to say, now I had some charms sitting up here for years and they're gone. But there I see them now. I moved them. Okay. And I don't know. Let me see if I can send it from this phone. Teaquilts. Teaquilts. Let's go to mailbox. No, I can't remember what was our first project for the year. Hold on. January, right here. And I'm trying to get the Zoom information, because it should be the same every month. So I'm hoping that this is going to be right, because I'm going to have somebody ask me, what's the Zoom link? And it's like, I don't know. Okay. Let's copy that. I have so many things on my to-do list. I need a real assistant, like like a secretary assistant, but I can't afford to pay them, okay? I can't afford for somebody to quit their job. I don't make money like that. I'm going to send this to me and then blind copy it to everybody else. Let me see if I type the words, would that come up if I just do Zoom? It's not coming up with Zoom. Teaquilt Scrap Quilting Club. Nope. Oops, I saw it. Teaquilts. It came up once, but I don't see it anymore. Maybe I don't have that in there. Let me see if I put via. I can't even get, I don't know what the list name is. So I guess I'm going to have to wait till I get to my desktop. See, I have no memory on this phone at all. I don't know what the name of the group is to... So I can't do it now. And then when I get off of here, I'm going to forget again. Contact permissions is off. I don't want... Yeah, it's trying to go to. And I thought that I had the word Zoom in it, because otherwise, but it's just showing me Zoom squared roundup, and that's not what I'm looking for. That's not the group. I just type in Zoom. It's only giving me that one, and I know Zoom is in the name, but it's not showing it to me. Zoom is always 3 to 5. Darcy is reminding you all to hit the thumbs up button on your way out. So thank you as well, Darcy. I know you mentioned it, but what is the name of the pattern for the quilt you are making your sister? It's called Red River. That's Phyllis G. Red River. Okay. Just email me, Phyllis. So now I'm just here not doing anything. Okay, I can't find it, so it's just not gonna work. I need to let that go. I can't find the group. It's not coming up. And I know that I have a group, and I can't just send it out. Thank you, Kevin. He's letting you know it's a Villa Rosa design. But, it's so crazy because it'll say Darcy has number one, Kevin has number one. No, it's saying Darcy has number one, I guess, and then Kevin has number one. I don't know. It's like they counting how many times you chat or something. It's so weird. Lana just sent $1.99. Thank you, Lana. I thought she was gone to bed. We got 10 more minutes, y'all. I guess I better be trying to look to make sure we still catching everything. Yep, so far so good. I left a good chunk of my corner open from here because I want to make sure if I make a bigger label, I want to make something, put something in there. I'm not sure what I want to put yet, so that's one of the things I'll figure out once I... Hey, Bixby. Set timer for 10 p.m. to send Zoom notice.
How long should I set it for?
Cancel.
Okay, I won't do anything.
Because she was talking about how long should I set it for. Hey, Bixby. Set timer for 10:15. Send email for Zoom.
I'll start your timer for 23 minutes, 7 seconds.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. I'll do 10:15. Give me a break. I do want to increase this stitch length just a little bit. This panto I use, it's on screen. Everything looks perfect when you stitch it out, and then when you stitch it out, it pulls. Instead of it, I did 1.5 inch grid because I didn't want this quilt to be stiff. I want my sister to love it, cuddle it, use it on her sofa. And I wanted 1 inch quilting of this chevron pattern. And I noticed that when I went to quilt it though, it put a 1/2 inch line where the quilting repeats, where the panto repeats, but that wasn't showing on my screen when I set it up. So when I do my quilt, I'm also going to put this same panto on there, and then I'm going to check it out. Now I left it in there because it looks like it's part of the design, but it really isn't. It did not, when it went to stitch out, it does something completely different. So when I go to stitch, before I stitch mine, I might mess up my whole quilt, you know. But it'll, you know, at least it's mine's and it's not hers that's messed up. I'm gonna act like I'm nesting the second row before I even quilt it, and then I'm going to see what it does. It ain't gonna even be in the computer, and then I'll redo the whole thing when I actually put my quilt ready to stitch my quilt. But to see if it's gonna change like it did on this one, I'm gonna do a couple different things to see if I can correct that so I can get it to stitch right. Because I'm telling you, it looked fine on the screen when I did the nesting, when I set up my nesting, but then when I went to quilt it, it did something completely different, and I have no idea why it did that. I don't know if that's a butler issue or a design of the pattern issue. So I'm gonna be figuring that out. It's Scrap Club via Zoom is what's on Facebook. I put in all types of things to pull that up. I think it's because I don't send emails. I set up all of those lists on my desktop, my old desktop computer, because my new one don't have them either. And so I think it's because I have not done it. And so and on the phone, it won't let me pull up my list. It only lets me type the name. If I know the name, it will pop up. If I don't know the name, it won't pull it up. And so because I don't know the exact way it's spelled, I don't have a memory on my phone, whereas I have a memory on my computer. And I can pull up the list on my computer. So it's just being, you know, a bear. It's being a little naughty. So I just have to go. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten since lunch, and lunch was the only meal I ate today. So I'm hungry, and it was starting to frustrate me in my hunger state. And so I was like, we need to leave this alone. So I will probably leave this quilt. Well, I'm not going to leave it on the machine because I just oiled it and I don't want an oil spot to come down here. I'll come back and finish this. And then I can also, when I go to my desktop, I might eat first. Because then I can, or go send a darn note and be done with that part. Make the label later, but I can eat. I need to eat. I'm gonna cook me some. I know people don't eat it, but I do. I'm gonna go cook me some catfish. That's what I'm gonna do. So, and I might make me enough for tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about my dinner tomorrow. And then the way I reheat it is I put it in the air fryer and let it reheat that way instead of the microwave, which dries it out. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I haven't opened up the mail for today because I came home and went to sleep, and I just looked at that stuff right before I came in here. So I'll open up those at some point tonight or tomorrow, because I got a lot to do tonight if I'm trying to get this quilt done, fix me something to eat, send out emails. It's always something for me to do. And then sometimes I just get frustrated and go, I'm not going to do a thing. I'm just going to sit here. But we don't have that luxury this time. I got to get my sister's quilt done. We do not have that luxury. We'll have that luxury after I get this done. Not before. We got to get this done tonight. Well, before I go to bed, because I don't want to be dealing with this tomorrow. I want to get that corner under there really good. I'm turning. Just do a couple stitches so I know it's holding. Like I said, it's taking me a lot longer to do this because I don't have it pressed, and I can only do like 3 inches at a time, something like that. Diane says, thanks for the advice on cooking, reheating fish. Love catfish. Yes. And I don't want to be, if I'm making fish, whether I pan fry it or sear it or bake it, I don't want to be cooking it every day because I just don't want to do it. So I'll cook a few pieces. My husband does not like seafood. But I'll cook a few pieces and then I'll reheat it in the air fryer so that it refreshes it. But and I don't cook it like I don't reheat it for the full time, like if I was cooking it. But if you refrigerate, you do got to get into the center to make sure it's hot. So I do about half the time that it would take for it to regularly cook. So sometimes I don't cook it, that second piece, all the way. So, but yeah. But yeah, it turns out really good in the air fryer. I've even cooked it in the air fryer too and eaten it. But I'm gonna cook it the way I want to eat it first, and then I'll cook it in the air fryer to reheat. And if anybody's ordering anything, I'm not doing any orders until Monday. Just know that in case you're ordering something, you won't see anything tomorrow. Especially with me having scrap club already, and I gotta get to my sister's house. Either I would like to go now before scrap club because I hadn't looked at my agenda. And if I don't make it tomorrow, like I said, her birthday is Monday. I won't be late, but that's not my goal. And once I make a goal, I usually accomplish it. So she will be getting this quilt tomorrow, either before or after a Zoom class. And I'll try to remember to take her picture with it so I can put it on Facebook. Don says, I love catfish too. Miss T's catfish is good. Did I feed you I did feed you catfish one time when we were doing those meetings. I know a lot of people don't like it, but Kevin, it's only a couple things that Kevin don't eat. You can feed Kevin. He can eat anywhere. I have so many food texture issues that I can't eat everywhere. Let's just do a check to see what our status is. So we're doing very well. It's professionally done, no skips. And that's the other thing. When I'm sewing from the front, tacking down the back, when I get this quilt out of here, I do look at the back all the way around to make sure I haven't missed anything. And if I have, I either hand sew it down or I take out what I need to and redo on the sewing machine. But most times I'll just go and hand get those areas if it's not that many. But yeah, so far, every place I've looked so far is covered. It's just taking me longer to stitch because it's not pressed down. Okay, trying to make sure I didn't miss a comment. And what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 10:02. My alarm gonna be going off at 10:15. Okay, I was trying to get to this corner. I'll get to this corner and stop because I don't want to have to come back. It'll save me from having to turn under the needle. I'll turn now. And then I can take this out. Because like I said again, in case you all missed it, I oiled this machine. And I've only just started sewing on it. And I don't want this to sit here. And then a glob of oil that's still working its way through gets on it because it's just sitting. So I'm not going to leave it. Even though I'm going to have to restart back up. But we'll stop just another couple minutes. I guess I am going to be leaving here to go do the Zoom. For those that missed it, I got pink on the back, although it's not the color on the front because pink is her favorite color. And I want her, if she don't want to look at, hold on, I'm finna hit this mic. Well, I can do it this way. My strap was sliding. I'm working too hard. I wanted her to be able to reverse this quilt if she didn't want to look at the lion, but I have a feeling this lion's going to be right side up. I know my sister, and she loves her sign. She loves her birthday. So I think she's gonna enjoy it and be shocked, because she doesn't look at my YouTube channel. She don't have the patience for that. She's the same sister that calls me Martha Stewart. To my gown, little Martha. Harassing me because I like to craft all my life. Whoa. It seemed like it didn't want to go in this quilt corner. I'm going to turn it just so that I can get those few stitches down. And then when I come, I'll be on the straight. I'll be home running it. So I don't have to worry about none of that when I start back up. Okay. 2 stitches. Now we can adjust, need it to hold, and then stitch a couple of inches, and then we can pull this out. Okay. I'm not even going to back stitch, and then I'm going to put one of these dangerous pins right here, because I can't even tell where I stopped. I'm going to put it back so I can overstitch, because I knew I was going to come back here. So everything that I've stitched down is perfect. I have no areas to correct. All of it is stitched down. So I'm doing great not having it pressed. Put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, go send the email. Thank you so much for being here today with me as I'm sewing, motivating me to get to sewing. I got half of it done. I got to go make the label, so I'm not going to come back till I make the label and put the label in the corner. Then I can finish the whole thing out once I put it back under here. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then those that are in Scrap Club via Zoom. I'm going to do tomorrow. Patrice, if you're still here, I'll send you a link as a guest. I'll add you in as a guest. She wanted to join. And it's like we're halfway through the year. It's still the same price. So I wanted to make sure that, I let her come as we're not going to do any formal teaching or... Scrap Club is not about teaching. It's about working on the same project and then seeing what other people are doing. So that's what Scrap Club is about. So that's it. And many talking about Martha loves to cook also. Yep. Dawn saying her friends used to call her Betty Crocker because I cook and sewed as a teenager. Okay, Patrice. So I will see you all tomorrow in Zoom or Wednesday at the live chat. So thank you all so much for watching. You all stay blessed, be safe, and quilt out. Deuces. That was extra.